Hi, my name is Jessica Greenlaw, and I will be doing my presentation on the street artist Slinkachu. Who is Slinkachu? Slinkachu, his real name is actually Stuart Ponto. He was born in 1979 and grew up in Devon, which is southwest England. He has lived in London since 2003. He was originally trained in advertising and he maintained a hobby of making wooden figures, but he left his job in advertising to pursue his art full time in 2006. How he came to be. His name. Slinkachu is an accidental name derived from an old nickname at the university. He said it was used as a username to sign up for accounts online. By default, it became the first name he used when uploading his first images to his blog. Slinkachu said, using a pseudonym is handy. I would prefer people to think about the characters in my work rather than the person who has done it. Slinkachu is known for being the maker of the world's smallest street art. Slinkachu is known for being a sculptor, a street artist, and a photographer. He makes minifigure sculptures, photographs them, and then abandons them in the streets. He takes mini models from train sets and he remodels them with clay and other objects and he paints them to create different characters. He stated that he prefers models created by German companies because they are more detailed than most. He paints them and moves them. His props are everyday objects. He usually walks around for hours to find the right place to put his art. He places them in unexpected places, though. He's more interested in finding the small, hidden pockets of nature in the city, and he makes them beautiful. Then he travels all over the world with his little people. He usually plans 3 to 4 weeks in advance. As well as in public, he shows his installations in galleries all over the world, though. His inspiration. Ever since he was a little boy, Slinkachu has had a fascination with small things. His dad made him a train set when he was younger, but he said he wasn't interested in the trains. The figures, houses, and trees fascinated him the most. He also finds a lot of inspiration in his home city, which has a large graffiti art scene. Why? The meaning behind his pieces are not too deep or specific. Most of the time, he just wants people to make up their own interpretations and stories behind them. He wants people to think about themselves when they are looking at the work rather than the person that did it. That's why he leaves them behind. He says, I don't really know what happens to them once I'm done with them. I don't usually go back to them to see if they are still there or if others have noticed them. He said that leaving them behind after photographing them has always been a part of the work. He doesn't feel attached to them. When he first started out, he didn't even take pictures and would just leave them. It's cathartic to him. Over time, his work has gotten more political. He says he doesn't try to usually make it political, but it just has kind of evolved that way. They are cliches about the city, landmarks, and political events. He said that it felt the opposite of regular street art, that is big and noticeable. The point of street art, though, is for it to interact with the passerby, no matter how big or small. It's a metaphor for how people feel when you live in a large city. You feel small and anonymous. Life's challenges in a life that is bigger than you. Here are a few of his installations that I found fun. I really enjoy his style because it's just very different from what I'm usually creating as an artist. I think that it is really cool that he chooses places that usually are overlooked and not so beautiful, and he makes them his own. I think it's really interesting what he can envision in these places. Here are more examples of his work that I found very fun and very interesting. I thought about how I usually walk around cities and what I usually notice, and I know for a fact that I would easily miss these things. One, because they're so small, and two, they're in places that often get overlooked. It makes me want to pay attention to my surroundings more and see what I can find. I really think that it's interesting that he decides to leave his art behind for people to find them. Sometimes people notice them, but not all the time, and I really understand why. I mean, look at him installing his pieces in the picture in the bottom left. They're so tiny and can easily be missed. And like I had said before in the previous slide, he puts them in places that are unexpected and oftentimes overlooked. Something that I really found funny that he said in an interview was that when he's installing, people often misinterpret what he's actually doing. A fireman once stopped him and thought he had fallen over and needed help getting up, and so did many other people that had walked back past him. And then another time, a policeman stopped him and questioned him because he had his glue in his hand and he thought that Slinkachu was sniffing glue, when in reality he was just trying to glue his pieces together and install his art. And here are my sources.